When it's social media or when it's your own business, it's all on you.
Yep.
And if you mess that up, it's like now you have 3 other people or 4 other people that you have to worry about.
I love a good, strong safety net. And like you mentioned, like benefits, insurance, like that's a big thing for me. And like the idea of not having those, I've thought a lot about other businesses not related to Lego. But I'm just so risk adverse. I'm like, all right, what's the least riskiest thing that I can do? And then also like try and do something a little bit on the side. I was going to ask, are your kids allowed in here?
Oh yeah, they can come in whenever they want.
I've thought about doing videos that are more like kid centric, but it's just such the Lego world is such a touchy subject. Any sort of messaging towards kids.
Yeah.
And I don't want to
I don't want to appeal towards kids.
I don't know if I want to do full-time content creation, but I'd work for Merlin Entertainment. Well, and there's a lot of Lego content out there that the average, even Lego AFOL, isn't consuming. Lego and Land get way too much flack. They're like mad that they're doing a reveal.
So, all right, we're rolling. I think this is good. Audio sounds good. The cameras sound good. We look good. Good morning, dude.
What's up?
How's it going? Oh, welcome to Sitting on a Stoop. One of the few occasions where I actually started an introduction, but you're only here for a little bit. You were actually in town for like a week and some change?
Yep. Yeah, I got here a few days ago. Been here for a work conference.
So. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for coming over the pad. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just so much fun. It's it's cool seeing it in person after seeing, in the videos. And your city is so fun. I love the Shelf City concept and seeing it all lit up and all the little stories going on. It's cool.
One of the great things I love doing is seeing people see the room, right? It's always a thing when, a friend comes over and they're shocked.
Yeah.
Because, they're not really into this type of stuff, whether it be, the Warhammer stuff, the Lego stuff or whatever, right? It's always fun to watch like scary people, like my fellow veterans or my biker buddies. Like when they come through and they're like, you see these like big, burly, scary looking men like become kids. Yeah. It's like the best thing ever. Like totally. just the innocence come back out. It's one of the best things to watch happen. But there's also another thing when you have your Lego friends come through.
Right.
Because there's really nothing. Well, maybe the Brickmania stuff for you. You've probably never seen those. But for these, I know you have some of this.
Yeah.
So it's like cool.
Yeah. No, it is cool though, because like the people lay it out differently. They have their different. It's storytelling. Lego is the best part about Lego is the storytelling aspect of things, and so it's cool seeing everyone do it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And also like with your space constraints, because not everyone has a warehouse where they can lay out their city, right? And so it's cool seeing everyone work with the space that they have and with the collection that they have.
Yeah, it's the tight space right now, right?
It's good. It's perfect.
I mean, I'm just happy to have a space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let alone a wall. This wasn't intended to be a Lego space. Like it was just an extra room. Right. So I live in a technically 5-bedroom if you're counting the garage too, but because that's not meant for a car. It's all, in process to becoming an ADU. It just doesn't have its own like water lines and it's not permitted as such yet. But that's like where all our storage is, but it's ready. If I really wanted to turn this into that, which is the goal, that's going to happen. But my kids, they live in the house, but they sleep in one room because they're too afraid to sleep on their own at the time being. Like, I mean, I don't think I've slept in my own bed with my wife alone in a long time. It's always, the kids always come through and it's like, but now as they're getting older, they're like, I want my own room. Right. And then I'm like, well, you got to be able to sleep by yourself. Yeah. So once you can prove that to me that you two can sleep in this room together, then fine, we'll discuss that. Yeah, that's totally. If I don't buy another house by then, and I as I mentioned, that's 4 rooms. So that's 3, right? Well, our room, kids' room, this room. But I also moved my mom in here. She recently got forced retired, which kind of sucks. But she's with us, and she's been with us for a while. It's great to having a impromptu babysitter, especially if she doesn't have to work. So she's just kind of hanging around all the time, and it's great to finally have her like be in our lives because for a long time she wasn't. She was just like special occasions. I mean, she likes to do her own thing. She's a very independent woman. When it comes to like inviting her to things, it's very like, come on, come. And she doesn't. So now that has nothing else to do, she's always around, which is great. But so that takes up the 4th room in case anybody was paying attention. Right. So if we don't buy a bigger house, this will move to the garage and I'll get a little bit more space, just a tad. Yeah. Like it might be another like 3 feet up and, 20 square foot more, square feet more, I guess.
Well, every square foot counts.
Every square foot counts. And, I'm not really sure what you're working with at your house.
Yeah, so I would have a kind of an upstairs. The attic was converted years ago into two bedrooms, and so it's my. So I work hybrid with my job, so it's my office space and my Lego space. I'm trying to convince my family to rebrand it to call it the workshop. I don't know if that's going to work.
Can you just like put a sign out and just call it that?
Yeah,
just,
right.
just
That's what I should
stamp it.
do. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it's 11 by 13 or something like that. The biggest difficulty is it's got arched ceilings, and so that's tricky when you're wanting to put shelves up. And so in my videos in the background is the one major wall, and there are the arched ceilings up there. And it's a good amount of space. I've got room to expand if I need to get more shelves. But I honestly, the way that I collect, I don't have, we're a single income family. I don't have a ton of funds to drop a ton of money on Lego. But I have room to expand. But honestly, like if it gets to a point where I've got too many sets, I'm happy to break them down, bag them, if it's a set that I want to rebuild again one day. Or I've been honestly getting into a point of my collection journey as an adult now where if it's a set that I'm not really like, if it's not my favorite set in the world, I will put that sucker into the bulk drawers, and I've just been taking them apart, and it'll probably never become a set ever again. It'll be used for customs or whatever it is that I'm working on. And so that's been an interesting shift.
Yeah.
In my like Lego journey as a kid, you generally would build sets, or you'd have some random, bulk parts, and you'd build something, some sort of custom creation. Whereas now, if I don't like something on a set, I'll redo it the way that I want to do it. Or if there is a set that I'm not like in love with, I'll take those parts and I'll do something else with them. And it's been an interesting shift because for the longest time there, I got to keep the minifigs with the original set. Now I'm like, minifigs can go wherever they want. Yeah.
So, no, I was the same way. There's comes a certain point where like you just stop caring.
Yeah.
I kind of regretted it though when I did the city video that I had with recent one not recent. It was like early in the year. It's so bad at posting videos at this point, but I had to search for figs. I'm like, where are these minifigures? Right. And then like I even went to Bricklink to buy a few just because I was too lazy trying to find everything because I was definitely over it coming for some of the sets, and I actually found some of the figs in my kids' collection and also in other buildings that my kids were playing with. Now I just keep them all inside. They're just in there. Any fig that came with them because I need to use them. But that has a purpose, right? Because I do a video of these like every year. So, but for the most part, nothing lives with what they belong with. And like you, I break down my stuff because I don't have room and they just get tossed into a bin, hopefully that I am able to sort. Again, I don't have time to sort.
Yeah.
So when I actually need stuff to build like a mock, I know it's bad, but I'll just buy them again on Bricklink.
Oh, sure.
It's just faster. It's just more, it's less time for me to, I know inevitably I should probably just sit down and just organize everything, right? And I can find the pieces that I need, but I just don't have the time.
But then you also have to have space to have all the drawers or whatever you're organizing it in. Like that's, a tricky thing. Like I know you've got some space over there.
There's some over there.
Which is great, but like
bins everywhere.
It takes up a lot of space.
All in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It takes up a lot of space to try and to just even have drawers of bulk Lego, let alone the sets and all the things that you want to kind of show off or display. So I've got probably 2 60-gallon tubs that are just unsorted bricks that eventually I would love to kind of whittle down on those. And I tell myself I'm not going to buy any more Lego until I sort one of those bins.
Right.
That does not happen at all.
I have bins of just broken down, not even fully broken. They're just tossed in there, and just like I could kind of put together if I really want to dig through it, but not really. It's like beyond repair of at least a time that I want to dedicate to that. A lot of the stuff comes from my kids too. Like they'll just throw stuff in there, and then when they get the most benefit from that because they'll just pull it out and build whatever they want at that point. But like knowing myself, like if I need a 1x4 gray brick, I know there's a ton in there. I'll just go to Bricklink, like 100 of them, or online Pab. But okay, we're diving a little bit too far deep into our collection. I kind of want to recircle back down to this, but like, can you just tell me your story right quick?
Yeah. So I was a Lego kid. My older brother was into it, and I just defaulted into it. And at some point, I think he kind of stopped, and I just took all of his Lego. So I got some, and I was able to keep it, most of it. So anyways, played with a lot as a kid. It was like the, regular birthday, Christmas present type thing. Nothing too huge. And back then they didn't make them that big. But like a lot of like, for example, when the original pod racer from Star Wars, like Anakin's pod racer, they had the set where it was just Anakin's pod racer. And they had the version with Sebulba and with the other one. Yeah. I always wanted the 3, but I only had the 1. And so it was like the as a kid, we had these really fun sets. We also had a decent amount of Mega, which I won't talk too much about. But
you talk about
the coolest part, and I a few weeks ago, I'm on eBay looking at Mega had this old castle from the 90s, and this castle it was one huge molded element, and then it had the studs on top. And then I pretty much got rid of most of the Mega because the figures were really breakable and they weren't super great. And I would just do Lego stuff with it. And I thought a few weeks ago, I was like, man, I should rebuy that castle because I got rid of that. I didn't keep it. I only kept the Lego. And then just do custom stuff with it because it's just a really cool, vintage, unique piece. And it brings back a lot of memories.
Of course.
And so, yeah, I did Lego as a kid growing up. And then in my teenage years, I didn't like actively stop. As my siblings moved out, because I'm the youngest, we had a room that was kind of like a Lego room. And I had like shelves up that, my parents didn't need the space, and I wasn't really doing customs. I was, kind of playing with it. I have like pictures from when I was a kid, like doing the history fair project, and there's Lego in there and stuff like that. So that was always a part of my life. And then at some point I realized, okay, I'm moving on. I'm, kind of grown up, but I knew I was going to get back into it at some point. And so kind of broke it all down, threw it into some big bins, and then stored it in my parents' house. And my dad kept it, which was awesome. And 2021, I went home and I got all the bins and I threw all the Lego into shipping boxes, and I shipped it from there to when we were living in Wisconsin at the time, which was kind of expensive. My wife, it was like $350 to ship it all or something like that. My wife's like, oh, like you should just not ship it and rebuy it. And I'm like, this is all like 1990s, 1980s Lego. Yeah. I'm like, it's probably worth like $2,000 or something like that. Like definitely. To try and if I wanted to recollect all the sets.
What were some of those sets? Just
I had a lot of like the original like Star Wars, Harry Potter waves. I have, and I still have most of this stuff because I was able to keep most of it. A lot of old Castle, some of the smaller ones, some just very
like classic Castle,
like old classic stuff, with the green dragon, the red wings. So I've got some, that's
hence the shirt.
Shout out Brick Monarch Shop, sponsor me.
Plug it all away. They should.
My wife bought this shirt for me, and I'm really grateful for it. I love it. I love their merch.
They have a lot of my shirts are from them.
Yeah. All of the companies that sell the Lego merch, I pretty much love all of it. And I'm like, oh man, like those are some cool stuff. I like nerding out sometimes, but yeah, so I was able to keep a lot of that stuff. And then in 22, I was watching, this is the story that got me into content creation. I was watching a TikTok live with Maticus Bricks and Obi-Wan Kenobricks. And I was just like chatting with them. I didn't know them personally or anything like that, but I was kind of in the chat, and I kind of said like, hey, I've thought about doing this, but I know it's a saturated space. Cause I missed the the COVID wave of like all the Lego influencers that grew a ton during that time.
On TikTok, yeah.
Which like, tell you what, why didn't I start 2 years earlier? Right. I would have had way more success. But, and they were like, just do it. And so I left their live and I went and created my TikTok account. And then I went back in and I said, I made it. And then Maticus went over and he was my first subscriber.
Nice.
And so that, the first 6 months, it was pretty slow. I ended up switching jobs. We moved. And so I didn't really take it seriously for a little bit longer after that. And even then, I work full time. I'm doing a graduate degree right now. I've got kids. So like content creation and Lego ends up taking, I think about it a lot, but it ends up taking a backseat with my time just because I got to focus on other stuff.
Of course.
And so when I make content, when I'm doing custom stuff, it's usually, late at night or whenever I have a little bit of time to fit it in. And that's, what I would say is most of the people in our hobby, it's, there's very few of us that are doing it full time or that are, have a lot of excess time. And when I finish my grad degree, I hope to spend a little more time, either with the content creation or really with just like building customs. I have lots of ideas. I have an unlimited supply of ideas of things that I want to build or want to video. It's just time. Time is always the biggest factor, or space or your money. Cause I think about, I have a grand idea of something that I want to bring to Chicago, and I'm like, that's going to cost me $1,000 or whatever to build, because that's how it goes.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
the build that I displayed at Chicago this last year, it was probably about a $450 build, all said and done. Like, you know, dumb Lego cow cost me like $15, you know, and I needed one of them. So yeah, it's that's mock building is way more expensive than I ever thought, because most of my mock building experience so far has been on Studio, because I don't have to spend any money, and I love using Bricklink Studio. I really like.
I haven't touched it yet.
I've leaned into it a ton. I've thought about doing tutorials and stuff because I really like the software, and it's great because it doesn't cost you anything until you like, oh, let's put these bricks in a cart just to see, and you're like, oh,
$900.
yeah, that's
for something this small.
Yeah, exactly. So, so then a lot of times what I'll do with projects, custom projects, is I will put the parts in my cart, and I'm not actively trying to I'll slowly passively grab those pieces.
Yeah.
So I'm buying something that I want, and then
they have it.
They have those parts, and then I've got it bagged, labeled, and then I just add that and then kind of check it off the list. And so that's like a lot of what I end up doing to try and save money, because I'm like, oh, well, I'm already paying shipping, whatever they got, then I'll take it. But yeah, it's, you know, it's money and time and space. That's
money, time, space, and your family.
Yeah,
I think the family takes a good chunk of that, because for me, like it's the same thing. Like I love doing this. I love building. I love making content. I love being around the community. And you know, I have other extracurriculars, I guess you would say. But you know, a good chunk of that is done when everyone's asleep, right? And you know, when you're working full time, like yourself, you have, you know, now that your kids are getting older, or if they have their own extracurriculars you want to take them to. Like for my kids, it's like dance and sports, and soon to be music. So that schedule is already hectic enough as it is, let alone taking them to kids' birthdays and school events. And then I have my own friends that I'm trying to make sure that I maintain a relationship with, whether they be, you know, actual real life, like in-person friends, not just online. My club and people in the Lego community, and then the Lego. You kind of mentioned it earlier, like where you were like, you know, maybe you might put a little bit more focus into it, but there's definitely a content switch when you decide to go full time. And I think Firebird Caleb, he did a great video on, you know, I guess you could say, like, you know, what is it called? Brain rot content.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Right. So there's definitely a type of video as far as packaging and actual footage that you're editing and put together, and story that you're putting together, that, you know, kind of will guarantee success. Or at least hopefully, right? If you don't have that type of equation on the table, it's going to be a very, very slow grind, and it's not a guarantee. But then you're also thinking about, like, now you're making your hobby into work. And then that kind of switches your priorities as far as like what you're creating, what you want to create. So, like, for me, for you, you know, we have our own main source of income. Like, we don't need to be like, oh, I need to be the first one to put this out, or, oh, I have to do it in this way so that way I can guarantee views, which would then guarantee money, which I can then promote to, you know, sponsorships, to be like, I can push $100,000 or 100,000 views per video at least, you know, or like, I don't think about any of that. I just post what I want. And I obviously package it in a certain way that it's somewhat, you know, macro as I can be without completely losing myself. But I post what I want. At my own time.
That's been my whole thing. Like, again, because it's a secondary thing. So to tell you a little bit more about me, so I work full time in social media for a large brand. I know how to make things perform on social media. That's not my number one priority on my Lego accounts.
Of course.
It's about fun. It's about like community building. And so there's certain things, like, I know if I was to be more controversial, I'd get more views. I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to do that right now. And so it's for me.
But that also that kind of changes what kind of audience you want.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And that's the thing. I haven't had a huge amount of growth. I'm on the 3 platforms. I haven't done any long form yet. That's something that I want to do, just, again, more for the fun of it. Also, you know, YouTube,
I was wondering
where it's at.
I was wondering
at some point a couple of years ago, I posted 2 long form videos. They didn't do super well, but they were like really low. Essentially, it was a short form video that I turned the camera horizontal, and it wasn't really that great. So it's something that I want to do. I have a project that I'm working on that will likely be my first long form that'll come out later this year, kind of holiday themed, which I'm really excited about. But again, this is something that it's my passion project. And if I get a ton of viewers, great. And if I don't, that's okay too. I've also been very fortunate to work with some brands to do some paid deals, and that's been really cool. Been able to subsidize the hobby a little bit, but again, I don't have any at this stage of right now. I don't have any aspirations to go full time or to even to make it a high priority, just because I'm happy doing the rest of the stuff in my career, and continuing to grow that. And so, yeah, I love content creation. It's a lot of fun, but more than anything, it's about the community. It's about just having fun.
No, definitely. I mean, if you were to tell me you're going to full time tomorrow, I'd be a little terrified.
Right.
Only because I know that you have a personal life with a family.
Yep.
It is a big risk, and I'm not saying to anyone out there to not, take that risk, because it might not just be social media. It could be opening up another type of business, a restaurant, a store, whatever it is. Going into business for yourself, it's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Right. Like like for me, I have guaranteed paychecks unless the company goes under or if I mess up. But I have insurance. I have roof over my head. I know where I'm going to be at least a year from now, right? At least. When it's social media or when it's your own business, it's all on you.
Yep.
And if you mess that up, it's like, well, now you have 3 other people or 4 other people that you have to worry about. Or if you have your own employees, you got to worry about them. And anyone I know who takes that jump, who doesn't have kids or at least a spouse, good. Take risks. Have fun. Do it. This is the time to do it. Anyone who does, and I'm like, I'm hoping you win. Like I'm more rooting for you now.
You're on a team, but it's like you just never know.
Yeah, you never know. But again, everything's not certain. So even if you have a steady job, that can go away quickly. But when it comes to social media, I know how much it takes, how much views you need to have a sustainable income to be able to support a family based on where you live. To do that here in LA, you need to be garnishing millions of views to be able to survive on your own, let alone provide for a family. So unless you already have that content switch, and you're already garnishing that type of viewership, at least here in California, cool.
Yeah.
Not, then I'm like, you need to move somewhere else, or you need to at least have another job to sustain itself, so that way you can focus on this one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll ever make that switch. I hope not. I'm not looking to depend on that, just because I know how volatile it can be. Coming from LA too, like I'm surrounded by people within the film industry.
Yeah.
So I know how cutthroat that can be. So, you could win, you could be successful for like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then done.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. It's fickle, and you
Very.
just have to want to grind hard.
Very.
And I grind hard in a lot of different ways in my life. You mentioned those things, but like, it's, I love a good, strong safety net. And like you mentioned, like benefits, insurance, like that's a big thing for me. And like the idea of not having those, I've thought a lot about other businesses not related to Lego. But I'm just so risk adverse. I'm like, all right, what's the least riskiest thing that I can do? And then also like try and do something a little bit on the side. And so, it's good for people who are like the hard entrepreneurs and the people who really want to push
bullish.
Hard. Yeah. Good for them. And like you said, especially those who don't have the same level of responsibilities and focus. My wife stays at home with our kids, and I love that, and she loves that. That's the decision she made. And so, as the breadwinner, I got to pay the bills, and I got to make sure that our roof's over our head and that we have water. It's
water.
My 5-year-old, you try and teach like the principles, right? And he doesn't understand the fact that everything around him would go away if I didn't go to work. And so I have to constantly remind him. Like, hey, like I'm working so that I can pay for lights, that I can pay for water, I can pay for food. They don't just come free. And that's like, it's hard for them to understand that. And I don't try and like stress him out, but it's like helping him start to understand the fact that like the reason I'm working is not because I don't want to be with you guys. I would just sit with them all day and hang out if I could. But like it's because you're there, trying to support your family.
Of course. I mean, he won't know now, but he'll know eventually.
Yeah.
Well, we all saw it. Like I never saw, my parents' situation was kind of weird. So, I was always not with my parents.
Yeah.
I was always at a daycare school. I was at school from like 7 a.m. till like 7 p.m.
Sure.
Like my mom wouldn't come pick me up. Like she pretty much raised me.
Yeah.
My dad was in and out. So like, I didn't realize, like, I just thought my parents just didn't want to be with me. It's fine. Whatever. I kind of accepted that point. But like, now I get it. Like living here on your own, it's hard, especially if you're a single parent. Right. So, hopefully our kids see that. I'm sure they will. But, as a father, like you want to give everything you can. So that way it guarantees that they have a great life.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to struggle.
Well, and as Christian as you can, like I mean, none of us are going to be super rich. I think,
Yeah, no.
there's not a ton of Lego collectors that are super rich. I wonder why. But
Unless they're rich before.
Enough. Yeah, that's true.
Unless they're rich
fair
before.
enough. Yeah. Or they're, getting millions of views and they're still staying rich.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want them to be happy. And whatever the happiness looks like, each individual scenario is different, but you just want them to be happy.
Of course. Like there's a lot of things that I've experienced that I do not want my kids to ever do as a kid. Like for me, walking to school by myself in LA was not a great thing to do, but I didn't have a choice.
Yep.
So, and I got a lot of scarring from that, like getting jumped. Like when I was 8, I can't imagine my kid getting jumped at 8 years old.
No.
Like I don't want that.
Yep.
But like we want to do what's best for our kids. And when we bring it back to social media and Lego and making content out of it, it's like, okay, I can do this. But how can I make it work so that way, they continue going to school, we don't have to leave this house and move to a smaller one. So they're not struggling for the next 2-3 years.
Right.
Like that I can provide food on the table, that I can, make sure that they still can play soccer, go play, piano lessons, go continue doing ballet. Like how can I make sure they have all those things while also like living my dream, like what I want to do.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of sacrifice there. And the golden, the best case scenario is that you find something that you love to do and it gives you enough income to be able to provide all those things. But sometimes there's a little bit of sacrifice on either end of that to make sure the end game is actually where you want it to be. Hopefully it's that way.
Yeah.
But as a father who has to provide as well, like I have to think about the risk on that.
Yep,
and
totally.
So I'm fortunate right now to have a job, I guess. I'm not going to call it professional, but I have an employer that grants me freedom to literally have weekends off if I so choose, travel all over the place, pays me very well, and I get to work from home now just sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm able to do the things that I love to do. Because before, if you paid attention to my life before this, it was the post office during COVID.
Sure.
Right? After working for Lego, I moved to the post office, and that was horrible. Not that I didn't like what I was doing. It was just a job just because I got terminated from Lego. I needed something before I find something else that I can do with my degree. So working for them, I worked really long hours from like 4 or 5, 6 in the morning till like 7, 8, 9 at night, every day for 14 days straight. Like that was when my daughter was born. I never saw her. The first few months to a year, she didn't know who I was, like at all, because I was never there. I'd come home and she's asleep. I'd leave, she's still asleep. So that started to weigh down on me a lot. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to find something. I need to find something that I could give time to them at this age. Yeah. Because after a little bit, maybe in 6, 7 more years, I can give them, they're not going to want to do anything with me. Maybe I can kind of venture out and do my own thing. But for now, I want to be there at this age where they want to be with me.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate to find a gig that, again, pays me well and gives me the freedom that I need to be happy to do Lego stuff, to be with my club, to be with my family. And I've never been more happier. Yeah. So definitely having that balance between, finding money. That's the thing we always have to think about it. Like, Lego takes up so much money. Yeah. And not only that, but life takes up a lot of money. And then finding that balance to where you're not hurting the other, especially towards your family, is a big deal.
Well, and like my wife is a big part of, she's a part of the equation when it comes to making money decisions, right? She's overly supportive because I'll tell myself like I'm cutting myself off for the rest of the year, or I'm not going to buy anything for us this month, and I just find a good deal on eBay, and I'm like, oh man, I need to delete that app. But she'll push back sometimes, and that's good. I'm glad. I want her to push back, but a lot of times she's supportive because she trusts me to make that decision. And man, she's like way too good to me in that regard. It's like, and she's got her hobbies. She's an artist. She likes to paint. She likes to bake and do a lot of cool, fun things. But her hobbies are all way cheaper. She's like, why don't you do painting? I'm like, because I hate painting. I want to build Lego. That's what I want to do. Like, that's my artistic, creativity that I get to enjoy. And so I just have the really expensive hobby. And she's supportive of that. And that's really important to have some sort of whatever your living situation is, if you're with anyone, is someone that's supportive of whatever it is that you do, and find a balance. I recently saw a creator that was struggling with their hobby side hustle balance and home, and they kind of were like, I need to take a step back. And I'm really glad that person did that. And I think anyone needs to consistently reevaluate their situation. But I've been very fortunate that she's been really supportive, but I've also tried to check myself as much as I can to make sure that I'm not doing anything that would then make her question or make her wonder, where my values are, where my time is. And as it is, work takes up a lot of the time and a lot of the focus. While I've been at this conference, my wife sent me a picture. My son, he will disappear and he'll come back in some sort of, he likes to dress up. He's a total theater kid at heart. He's like me. And so he comes out dressed up, and my wife sent me this picture of him in his button-up shirt with a tie, and he's got a cell phone in his pocket. He's got a pretend cell phone. And he's pretending to be me, and he's going to have meetings, and he's going to go to work. And I'm like, oh man, that's what he knows of me. But also that's what he knows of me. He knows that I'm, hardworking, and that, I'm there providing for the family. And I'm as present as I can be when I'm not at work and not at school, as best I can. And Lego is something that I share with my kids, which I was going to ask, are your kids allowed in here?
Oh yeah. They can come in whenever they want. Yeah.
That's been our approach. We, have some checks and balances. We have specific guidelines for Lego in the house, just so that it's not A, everywhere, or B, Lego bricks under the bed and that sort of stuff. And so we have a daily kind of tradition, routine.
Okay.
The kids come up, they each pick some sort of set or something to play with. They bring it downstairs because I work upstairs a lot of the days. And so they'll bring it down to the table, they'll play with it all day, they'll destroy it, customize it. Usually it's the minifigs. Kids love switching out the hair and the cape and the sword.
It's easy to do.
That's the favorite thing to do. And so they'll mess it all up, and then usually my wind down time at the end of the night, I'll kind of put it back to the way it was, and then put it back up on the shelf or wherever, and then we do it all over again the next day, and it's a lot of fun. And they love. They're 5 and 2, and they're way into Lego, and they're clicking bricks way before the box told them that they should be. And as a dad, it's cool, those proud moments where my son he's 5, he built an 8+ set on his own, really no support, other than maybe, helping hold something stable while he's putting it on top of an arch or something like that. And that's a cool experience as a dad who, again, has loved Lego since I was a kid. And now we get to share in that experience together, which is cool.
I don't have to do the cleanup though.
Yeah.
Just because I think my kids don't like to play in here as much,
Sure.
I guess yours is, because they know the rules. It's if you take something out, you put it back.
Yeah.
If you make a story over there, if it looks like a mess, put it back.
Yeah.
If you kind of make it look like it's displayable, you could kind of leave it. It's totally fine. But for the most part, my son just he'll build easily.
Yeah.
Very, very hard, 10+ sets, not even close to that. And he'll just build it. He's good at it. My daughter, not so much. She just wants the end game and she wants to play with it.
Yeah.
My son just wants to build it and it's done.
Yeah.
So, but what he does is he likes to build his own mocks.
Cool.
So he'll pull out his own bins and build whatever he wants. And then he comes in here and takes stuff from out of the piece collection, out of the spare bins. If it's something on the wall or behind you or here, he will ask. And I'll let them do it. I'm just as long as you put it back.
Yeah.
So they'll play, but they're not down to build sets all the time.
Yeah.
We have a whole garage full of sets.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll be like, hey, Dad, can I build a set? I'm like, okay, let's go to the garage. And they just choose something. A lot of the times they won't, because a lot of it's intimidating. It's these large Lego sets that I can't pull out. And they have so many unfinished builds that they took from sets and that they just end up building their own thing for.
Right.
They don't even finish it. But no, I do love the fact that they are building, but I don't think Lego's their thing, at least right now.
Yeah. And mine will probably take a break at some point, but so far they're both gung ho about it, and it's
fun to watch. It's definitely fun to watch them build on their own and play. I think what my son's starting to do now, I think it's because he's starting to watch YouTube on the weekends. So he sees me do it. So whenever this is on, if I just leave, because this is usually over there, and my setup's over there, and I just turn everything on, my little command station, and then I'm going. So if I just leave everything on, readily accessible, if I just step away because I'm already doing something, they'll sit here and pretend to be me.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll record videos.
Totally.
They know how to hit the switches, so they'll hit them, and then I come back and I'm like, oh, I have a video. I mean, I will never post it, but this is kind of cool to see them So my son will be like, can I make a video? I'm like, I'm not trying to push this because I don't want this of them.
Yeah.
I want this to be, if this is something I want to do later in life, cool, but I don't want them to be a child star. I want.
Oh, we've got dozens of unpublished videos because I don't want to put my kids' faces on my channels of them like reviewing full sets, or like
cool.
they want to do it, and they see me doing it. They love watching my videos. Literally, if there was an auto swipe up feature on TikTok where it just goes to the next video, they would watch my videos for hours. And I don't know why, because like one of the videos I do a lot is I talk about Lego ideas sets.
Yeah,
they're really basic videos. Like that's Lego ideas is like my favorite theme, and I love the concept of fans being able to like initially create the concept. Love that. The videos are not that exciting for a 5 and a 2-year-old.
And you're only in it for like the beginning.
And I'm only in it at the beginning, and then it's my voice. But they will listen to them, and I'm like, I mean,
there's something comforting about that.
Yeah, and I think that's what part of it's that, and they know that I'm excited about it. But yeah, but some videos I'm like, oh yeah, you'll really like this one. Some videos, like they're not going to like this, like, but they do, and it's fun. I've thought about doing videos that are more like kid centric. But it's just the Lego world is such a touchy subject, and like doing any sort of messaging towards kids. Yeah, and I don't want to
appeal towards kids.
Yeah, I don't mind doing it. I like, I love my kids, and I love, storytelling, and I was a theater kid, and like, so I love that concept. But like, there's a really fine line when it comes to like your own kids.
The theater makes sense. Just want to say that before I say anything else. The theater kid makes sense because when I watch your shorts, reels, and TikToks, when you move your head.
Oh, constantly.
I'm like, he's a performer of some kind.
Yeah.
I can see
my number one comments, like reoccurring comments, are that I don't blink in my videos, and that's because I take multiple takes. So obviously I blink in between takes. I'm not a robot. I'm not AI. But yeah, that like my head is just on like a bobblehead.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just like constantly doing this. That's right now. I'm trying to be really still, be close to the microphone. But yeah, normally I move my head a lot, and I do a lot of facial expressions. But even that, like. I know, like, if I brought out more of me, it was more eccentric, was a little more wild in my videos, I'm sure they would perform that much better. But like you, I'm very much like, I want a polished product. And so I'll retake a sentence 5 or 6 times to get it the way that I want it to. And good for creators that don't feel like they need to do that, or they just want to, they put something out there. And let's face it, they perform better than a lot of mine do. And I'm cool with that. But I have this very like, particular, like, this is what I want my video to look like. Same thing with my subtitles. I literally will spend so long editing the subtitles so I get everything on one line, so everything's spelled right, the grammar is good, because it matters to me for whatever reason.
It should. It's a presentation.
Yeah, it's just, I like the whole package. And again, I'm not a professional content creator. I'm a hobby content creator, and I love it.
But you do it for a living.
Yeah, so full time. So I work for a large brand, and I do their social. And what's cool is seeing both sides of the picture. Yeah. So now I have been the influencer and doing the contracts and doing the creation aspect of things. And I've been on the other side where I'm then now working with influencers for the brand, and it is awesome. And I am pretty good at my job. Like I know what I'm talking about, and I've spoke at conferences. I was here speaking at a conference. And it's interesting, again, being on both sides. And I know what I could be doing differently to make my Lego channels, pop off more perhaps. But at the same time, I'm good with where I'm at on that side of things. But I love the industry that I'm in, marketing, social media, communications. It's a great industry to be in. I go to this conference every year. It changes cities. Oh. So last year we were in...
Oh, what to say? Like, am I going to see you again next year?
Yeah, last year we were in Nashville. I think next year we're in DC. It's a great conference. I've been, this is my 7th year, not in a row, but 7 years total that I've been to this conference, and developed a really great network of professionals that I love seeing. It's almost like, it feels like Chicago in a lot of ways, where you're getting back with all your best friends. And what's different is, so Chicago, you all have a shared love for Lego, but you're all completely different people.
Yes.
And you can feel that. Like, whereas in my conferences, we're all like clones of each other, and we do similar jobs. And so, yeah, sometimes we butt heads, but generally we just get along so well because we all think the same way. We're all the same kind of brained individuals. We're creative. We like to write. We like to be strategic. And so it's fun. It's fun getting with them. And it was cool. The other night, I actually I got off the elevator, was down the lobby, saw a friend, was, saying hi, and he is chatting with someone. And I looked down at her like name tag, and I saw Merlin Entertainment. And I was like, as in like Legoland Merlin Entertainment? And she's like, yeah. She's like the head of PR.
Oh,
super.
So like, she knows everybody.
Yeah. So literally like the best, because I don't think Lego is involved in the organization that I'm a part of. As far as I know, none of the employees are. But I'm like, this is like the ultimate. So I'm like kind of fanning out. And I like tell her, I'm like, hey, I'm a Lego content creator. I'm an AFOL. And she's like, oh, cool. And so she follows me on Instagram, which is really nice. But it was funny because the conversation was like, yeah, I do content creation, but let me talk about me as a professional, because, you know, if that was never an opportunity, that'd be cool. I don't know if I want to do full-time content creation, but you know, I'd work for Merlin Entertainment and do, you know, comms or PR marketing for them. I think that'd be so much fun. And I actually had a video. So there's a Legoland Discovery Center in Columbus, where I'm based out of. And so I have partnered with them, really awesome people there. And there's like a marketing manager that's there at the store. So I did a video with them like a month ago, and we added the Legoland Discovery Center, like the national account, as a collab, and they accepted it. And so I was like, yeah, actually I'm on one of your channels like a month or so ago as like collaborator. And she was like, oh, that's so cool. And she knows a lot of the content creators that they've worked with and stuff. It was just a really amazing connection, cool connection to make. And she was just really nice and awesome, and was like, yeah, if you ever like back in California want to go to Legoland, like hit me up, kind of thing.
Nice.
And I was like, that's cool. Like, that'd be awesome. But more than anything, it was like that. It was that weird, like my two worlds were colliding, and I was like, yeah, Lego, but like, let me talk about my profession. And it was one of those that, you know, it's the networking, it's the building relationships aspect of that's that's a part of it. That's when you go to these conferences. It's all about relationships. That's what Chicago was about. And this year was my first year going to Chicago. First Lego convention ever. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love Chicago.
For a minute there, we were like, when we were looking at the board, right, in that corner, we we're like, who is this?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't your handle.
Yeah.
It was your name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I was just like,
yes.
It's like trying to like filter through.
Yeah, it's funny. Most people just message me and they're like, what's up, Wiley? And I'm like, I'm not going to correct them. I'm good with being called Wiley, but my name is actually Colin. There's a big surprise, right? There's a big shocker. You heard it here first.
So why Wiley?
Yeah, that's my last name. That's my last name. So and that was a nickname.
You just out. You sure you want to keep that on there?
Yeah. Well, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I have a name. Yeah, I'm on. Here's the thing. If you looked me up somewhere else, like you'd see me professionally elsewhere, right? Like that's not
fair enough.
I do Lego and I do my professional world separately, but they will go back and forth. Like I spoke at a conference 3 weeks ago, another conference. And I did a whole session on social media or digital marketing, and I did I based it on Lego. So I brought packs of bricks. I brought 6 bricks, and you know the classic, like how many combinations can you do with 6 2x4 bricks?
Yeah, you Lego house
like 9
them,
millions or whatever, right? I started the session giving them all bricks, and then we built it together. And we talked about like the foundations of digital marketing, and I built the whole thing based on the concept of Lego and building and creating. And it was a fun like crossover between the two worlds. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, like my two worlds aren't that separate because I do the same thing on both sides, right? But you know, so if someone wanted to look me up, that's fine. That's not a big deal. But it's not that I'm like hiding my real life, but it's just more or less Wiley has always been part of nickname. It's a part of it's always been a part of my life, obviously. And if people keep calling, like several people learn my name at Chicago, still call me Wiley. That's fine. That's not like. It's good. I'm just going to continue saying Wiley. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to change your contact though to like the last name. Yeah, probably in your phone or something like that. But yeah, that's how it goes. And I'll answer the phone depending on who I know it is, and I'll be like, "What's up?" And they'll be like, "Hey, Wiley." So yeah, it's always been like that, and I'm cool with it. It's and at some point, perhaps I'll as I look at like, for example, like verification, like they want your first name generally more publicly. Like a lot of creators have done. And so, at some point, I'm sure it'll be out there, but it's... Yeah, I did that by accident. Yeah. And I was like, it's out there. Yeah. Damn. And I got a lot of messages from people like, so that's your name, huh? Right. And I'm like... Your name isn't Shy? It is part of it. Yeah, right. But it's not the full name. Yeah. If you look up my full name online, if you were to Google it, I won't come up. Yeah. It's so generic for, because I'm half black. Right. I have a white, black last name. Right. So it's not, it's not Filipino, it's not Spanish, so you're not going to figure it out. Yeah. So I don't come up immediately. Now, if you type in Shy Times My Time on Google, I'll pop up immediately. But so I'm fortunate in that stance. So it doesn't really affect me so much. But I know it's something that a lot of people like to hide, and for good reason. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, I'm all for privacy. And I have my personal private channels, and I only friends and family, and that's fine. But then I'm public on other channels, just not talking about Lego. Yeah, of course. It is what it is. It's fun when I share stuff on my personal ones, though. You just see the reactions of like people you haven't seen since like high school. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I will share like my posts occasionally on like my personal story, just like something that I was proud of or something that I think like my friends would like. And I have quite a number of like friends that aren't Lego friends that follow me just because of me, and that's cool. But generally, I'll tell someone that's a friend like, "Oh, you have a Lego account. Like, let me follow you. And I'm like, you can, but like, if you don't like Lego, it's not really content you're going to enjoy, even if you really like me, because I'm not, I'm generally talking about Lego or, fandom stuff. Like, I'm really into Star Wars and really into, other areas of fandom. And so I'll talk about some of those things sometimes, but I'm like, if you're not into Lego, like, don't feel like you need to follow just because you know me. And some do and some don't. Some engage, some don't. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I get that part. Like, I feel like, cause I've asked some of my friends, I'm like, why are you following me here? Like, you don't like Lego, you don't care. It's like, it's not that I don't care about what you're doing or whatever. You're just more accessible on that account because I don't really venture out to my personal. Like, I don't check it all the time. Yeah. So it's like, if I need to get to you and I don't want to text you, I'll just reach out to you there. Especially if I want to send you memes, I'm like, you're gonna respond on that one. So I'm like, oh, great, I'm gonna block you on my Lego account. But so you mentioned Chicago. This is not really far from experience of what it feels like to be there. What was your thoughts this time around? Are you coming back? Yeah, it's close to you.
Yeah, that's the goal. It's closer to us. I drove. I did rent a car because we own one car as a family. It was so much fun. Like, I knew it was going to be fun. I don't know if it like surpassed an expectation, because I had an expectation for it to be an awesome time. I was like trying to, what's the cheapest way I can do this trip? And so I rented a van, and the plan was to stay in the van somewhere. Wow. Like, I was just going to camp out somewhere. And Manicus was like, you're not doing that. And my wife was like, kind of like, I don't know if I really want you to do that. I'm like, it's in like a suburb.
It's a very safe place.
It's a safe place. And now that I've been there, I'm kind of like, next year, I might honestly go back to the van.
That actually sounds like a good idea. Well, yeah. Save so much money.
Take the seats out, put an air mattress in there, and like room for the mock, like easy, like not a big deal.
Borrow a bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's like, shower at somebody's place. Or I was even looking at like what local gas stations had rentable showers. Like, I had kind of it all planned out. And then it was like the week of, they had like someone that couldn't come anymore, and they were wanting to, I was like, oh, I'll help them out kind of because they were splitting the cost of the room. And so I ended up staying with them, which was a lot of fun. And staying in a hotel is definitely nicer, but I was so ready to just like camp out, and everyone was like worried about my health and safety. And I'm like, it's going to be fine, guys. Like, I'm not that worried about it.
Yeah. It's definitely a safe place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it was such a great trip. Like, it was my first time ever building a mock that I displayed. And I'm passionate about that mock. It was based on Little Blue Truck, which is a book that my kids love. It's the biggest thing that I've ever made. You go to Chicago and you're like, man, this thing is tiny compared to everyone else.
Hey, Miles Turner loved it.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. He came over and he checked it out. I actually got to talk to him. That was a lot of fun. Like, I was like trying not to, I love basketball. I don't follow, as the Pacers as he's a part of, I don't necessarily follow the team, but like, he came by, he actually came by to take a picture with his partner. And so I took the photo of them, and then he's like, is this your build? And I'm like, yeah. And so we talked about it for a little bit, and he enjoyed it and followed me, which was like, kind of
That's
random.
great.
Yeah.
I know, it's great when he follows back. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Since then, he's like commented on a couple of my videos and stuff, and it's like kind of fun. And what's cool is he's just a Lego nerd. Like,
no, totally.
Obviously, yeah, he's like a kind of a quasi-celebrity, famous athlete or whatever, but he's just a Lego nerd at heart. And he like asked me like advice on his city. He'll like, what do you think of this? And I'm like, oh, that looks good. Like, why don't you try this? And he's a cool guy. But yeah, it was really cool. It was amazing to see all the builds, really inspiring. I literally walked away, and I was driving home, and I got the idea for two ideas for next year's builds. I don't know if I'll be able to financially make them happen or time-wise. I am working on kind of a collaborative build. With like several other builders on Instagram or social media that I've reached out to. I kind of did a call for, hey,
what's your home base, Instagram or TikTok? Like, what would you consider it now to be?
Instagram.
Still, okay.
So most followers on TikTok, greatest engagement on Instagram. Instagram also is generally the platform that brands want to work with.
Yeah.
The side brands that I've worked with. I did a video a couple days ago with Bricks Minifix Anaheim while I was out here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they're really, really sweet people. I reached out to them and was like, hey, I'm going to be in town. Like, can I come make a video at the store? And they're like, sure. So a lot of people are focused on Instagram, which makes sense. And especially with the uncertainty of TikTok in the next few months, I get it. I hope the TikTok doesn't go away. I love it. I hope the CapCut doesn't go away because I use it. I know how to use Adobe Premiere Pro. I could use it on my computer. It's way more convenient to use TikTok on my phone when I film on my phone and I'm just throwing it together real quick. I'll pivot if I need to. But I hope the platforms stick around. I like them. And I think that the reason that they're trying to get rid of them is not the real reason they're trying to get rid of them. So I'm hoping that the platform sticks around. But it was originally a focus, but then I realized the community really came from Instagram. And I love Instagram. I'm millennial. It's been around for years. I love it personally. I love it professionally. And then YouTube is one where I'm having good success with just shorts on YouTube. I think I have 800 subscribers or something like that. but like my average video is getting 10K views or something like that, which is pretty good for on shorts. That's more than a lot of videos that I see go by, and people have been really supportive on shorts. Not too many trolls, a few here and there.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Oh yeah. When I get followers like you guys have, it'll be a different story.
Just wait.
A lot of like, oh, you're an adult, you shouldn't be doing this, or like Lego's the worst. Like it's so expensive, and I'm like, you guys, it's of course it's expensive. It's a premium product, and it's a well-known brand. Like you're willing to pay that kind of money for Lululemon. I'm like, what's the difference? What is the difference? Like, tell me. Like, that's what I mean. Like, people pay crazy amount for other brands, and then they're mad about Lego because it's just plastic bricks. And I'm like, yeah, plastic bricks that had R&D, that has, how many employees does the Lego group have? Someone's got to pay for them. You know who's paying for it? Us buying Lego. And I'm happy to employ those people. I mentioned I met the lady from Legoland. I was kind of like getting up to close to her. I would love to work for Lego corporate and do like marketing or comms.
Like Lego or Merlin.
Yeah. Well, I'd either. And perhaps it depends.
Someone's moving to Connecticut or Boston.
Yeah, Boston. Yeah. Boylan Avenue. Yeah. Or honestly, my wife is actually down the idea of moving to Denmark.
That'd be nice. And best really schools in the world, man.
Yeah. So I don't know if that'll happen. And it's not necessarily like this is where I'm aiming for. That's my goal. I love Lego as an organization. I'm really driven by cause-related stuff. I love the Lego education arm, which is all based in they're in Boston. They were already in Boston before the big HQ move. I love Lego education. I love all of the philanthropic stuff that Lego does, and so I'd love to be a part of the storytelling aspect of that. So if that happens, that happens.
Have you looked at their job?
Not right now, because I want to stay where I'm at. Mm-hmm. I've moved my family too many times. We keep changing time zones every time we move.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay for a little bit longer where I'm at, and Lego doesn't really do remote. Merlin might. I kind of was like, oh, would you do remote? And she was like, yeah, it depends on the
that could fit. Be a good in. Going from Merlin to Lego.
Yeah, that was the immediate thought that I had when I met her. I was like, that could be a way in. I don't know. And that's the other, like, in the back of my head about content creation is, if I was to become a Lego employee, that's done. And generally, like some of them, they still have some employees. They've had a few designers that they're, I think, encouraging them to be content creators more. Now things are shifting.
Yeah.
So perhaps I'd still have my channel or something. But even like Boone, who was on Lego Master Season 1, I love him. He makes great content. He's a fun guy. He's had to pull back. And I don't know if it's because they've asked him to, or if it's because he's just, working full time and busy and got a family and stuff. I don't know what he's, I would love to meet him. He's one of my Lego idols, I would say.
Yeah. Boone is great. He's definitely a person to kind of want to be around when he's around, because he just makes everything lively.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, especially when you're karaokeing.
Yeah. I bet.
No, but I think for like, I would just use Boone as an example. And I don't know this.
Yeah.
But for someone who loved doing content creation, who loved Lego, doing Lego was what he really wanted to do.
Yep.
And then now this is your job.
Yep.
So when you're off, are you gonna want to make content about your job?
Yep, exactly.
Right. So you need that kind of like balance and space to keep your own sanity sometimes. And maybe that's the reason why he's just not as posting as much.
Yep.
Even though the designers are all posting stuff now. But again, I do see that now the designers are putting their name on their sets. They're like saying, it's cool. Did this. It's kind of weird. It's weird, but it's cool. I love it. I want more of that. I want to know who built this. Like Mary B. Cam. She kind of changed her name to not B. Cam anymore, not Brickmania, but she came from Brickmania.
Yep.
And then she moved to become an actual Lego designer. And she's worked on the new holiday set. I saw a picture of her unveiling it. So it looked like it was amazing.
Yeah.
So
I feel like George right now is the poster child of designers right now, and I'd love.
But then you see them on Lego's accounts that they're doing like game shows and stuff like that. So they're making the designers a little bit more over like a celebrity, I guess, within the group, which is great, because you want to know the artist behind the build.
Yep, totally.
I think it's a good thing.
Well, and there's a lot of Lego content out there that the average, even Lego AFOL, isn't consuming. Like, I love reading the Lego ideas. What do they call them? Like 10,000K interview kind of thing, and they get a 10,000K club. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of blogs and videos that either Bricklink or that Lego Ideas is producing that they're not necessarily on social, but if you go on websites, you can find them.
Yeah.
There's some great stuff out there, and it's fun, like community building type stuff. I love watching a lot of that content. Some of the stuff that Lego does, not like, if I was on the Lego social team, there's certain things that they do that I'm like, that's not.
Well, let's hope. Yeah. Let's hope you make it there one day. Like, oh my God, is that?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be our hero?
That would be. Honestly, that would be so fun. I don't know if I'm going to stay in social forever, like as a full-time job, but like Lego's a company that I would love to. I would love to do their social. I love the fact that they have. Again, this is me nerding out about social. It's audience first, and they have such a wide audience, and so they'll do posts that are directed towards younger audiences to older audiences. I love the direction that they are taking. And this is a masterclass for any large organization. What they've been doing with all of these non-Lego fans or maybe they're Lego fans, but these, like, they're not in the Lego community. They're going out and they're finding all of these other content creators that are like doing ASMR or that are doing, that are into trains or that are into this or that. And then they're bringing them in and they're partnering with them. And it is a phenomenal strategy because now you're reaching people that you weren't reaching before. Because if they just used like LAN members, for example, in all of their videos, then you're only reaching a certain audience. What I love seeing the partnerships that they've been doing with, like I say, I'm sure that they're Lego fans, but just generally they don't post about Lego. I love what they're doing, and I think they're doing cool stuff on social. At times I'm like, I don't know about that. And there's times where like, I wonder why they wait till so late to reveal a set. Like I think today is officially when this was being filmed.
X-Men.
Yeah, that was being revealed today. Super cool. We're only a couple weeks out. A part of me thinks like, hype should have been being built longer, but also like personal opinion, I think leaks aren't as much of a leak as they are maybe led to seem. I bet you like someone on the social team or someone in the marketing team,
dropping them.
They've got a Nokia, like old burner phone, and they take the grainy, terrible picture. Like I'm sure sometimes it comes out of a factory or something like that. It's strategic. It's a strategic marketing goal because they want to build hype. I don't love how there's some recent events where there's been like copyright litigation. I don't love that aspect of things because I think if content creators are sharing leaked images, a part of me is like, that was your problem. The fact that the image got out there somehow, that's not
That's not on Lego. That's on the company that owns the IP.
Yeah, that. Exactly. Yeah.
Because just to speak to that, because I don't think anybody within LAN has made it loud. Just because we just don't know where to go with it.
Right.
But in regards to that IP or those IPs belonging to that.
Well, it was Wicked was the big one. That
Wicked, and not only that, before that, it was also Minions.
Oh, yeah. Both owned by Universal, right?
Yeah, so it's Universal.
Yeah.
So, according to the embargo dates or whatever, the LAN members did what they were told or what they were allowed to say. And then it got changed, and then it got burned for it. And the LAN members also have their own rules, like we're allowed to share it if it's not from this source, or whatever, blah blah blah. So they'll post a leak if it's coming from the source that they're allowed to. I think that's how. I have no idea. I don't post leaks anyway, so I don't worry about that. But because it's fair game for us, they still got burned, and Lego couldn't do anything about it. Yeah. They're kind of their hands. They're not the ones that did the copyright strikes. Yeah. It wasn't Lego. It was Universal. Yeah. So fortunate for Lego, they were able to get the heads up right away. So they were able to tell the LAN members right away. Yeah. But they don't have the address books of everybody that posted them. So they can't tell everybody to put it down. They can only tell the LAN members to put it down, which in the audience perspective is unfair. But now that I've been in it for just a tad, like a little bit, I can see where they don't have that ability to be able to tell everybody, or like they only vet the people that they brought in, so they trust them with a certain knowledge that they can reach out to them quickly versus anybody else. Yeah. But it's up to us to be able to tell everybody, hey, take this down, or you're going to get a copyright strike. Yeah. But we don't do that. Yeah. I don't know why. But anyways, so I kind of want you to be I want you to work for Lego. That'd be great.
I think it'd be super fun, and I'm really open to the idea of it, but it's one of those things where I'm really flexible on what my career path is like. And if Lego is, and here's the thing, I'm fully aware that I might work for Lego and then maybe the magic disappears a little bit. But I still think it'd be fun.
No, I think it'll be great.
They're ranked every year for being one of the best workplaces in the world. And so even if I am less excited about building custom because I'm around Lego all the time or something sort of scenario like that, that's fine. Like I think it's a great company that I'd be interested in working for and telling their stories. There's some really cool stories out there that either aren't being told or that are being told and maybe not being seen by enough people. And there's more things that can be shared. I even, again, professionally, I'm looking at LinkedIn, the amount of employees that are talking about all the cool partnerships that they, like in the last year, the number of huge partnerships, either with just content creators or with large companies. You look at F1, Nike, you look at the whole thing with Pharrell Williams, all these huge brand partnerships. It's a big deal. And like, not a lot of companies are doing this big of things. And does it affect the average consumer? Maybe if you're into that other IP or that other brand, but they're doing some really cool things. Being a part of that would be awesome. And I look at Lego as an employer as being just as cool as like working working for a Disney or one of other big names. Like to me, that's a big name that, you know, I'd love to have, you know, on my resume, for lack of better words. Like I think it'd be a cool thing to be a part of, but if it doesn't work out, that it's not the only thing that I'm interested in. So I love the industry that I'm in right now. It's a lot of fun. I've been in it my whole career, and doing something that I love, which is great. And so it's just a matter of seeing where that takes me.
Well, yeah, I've definitely seen Lego work, aside from the major partners that we've been seeing publicly, right? But in the past, I've seen like Lego marketing reach out to other content creators that are not Lego whatsoever. They just have gajillion million like subscribers, whatever, and they get the UCS, you know, Millennium Falcon. I'm like, why are you getting the UCS Millennium Falcon? And then I was being naive at the time, like, oh, okay, that's cool, I guess. But it makes sense. Because now, you know, they are doing that. The marketing side is doing that. But then the LAN side also does. I think a lot of people in the community only think LAN is the only ones getting sets for free. When it's not true. They do get a lot of it, but a lot of it goes outside. Like if you look at, you know, Miles Turner example, right? He got something for free from Lego. Like everyone that loves Lego will inevitably get something if they have that kind of following from Lego. Will they be getting a ton of stuff? Probably not. But they'll get something that's more relevant to them that they know that they would enjoy and want to share it onto their own, you know, social media platforms, which has been happening for years. And I think a lot of people just also forget that that is something that is a tactic that Lego does. So I hope you, again, I hope that's in your future. I kind of want to see you do the Merlin thing too. I think that that'd be kind of cool because I think you could kind of build your own. I don't think they'll like be as strict with your own social media content.
In our brief conversation, I know that they said that Lego is very involved in what Merlin is doing from a marketing perspective. And so, like, for example, you won't see Legoland on TikTok besides like with the Master Model Builders. And that's fine. There's cool things that are going on though. And I think I don't know what it's ever going to happen with that. It was a great conversation. She was an amazing person. If that's all it ever was a great conversation, then I'm good with that. I've been to a couple of Discovery Centers and I have enjoyed that. And I would love to go check out a Legoland park at some point. It's just a matter of whether or not my family, I'm nearby and can make it happen. So I'd love to go check them out. I think it'd be fun. We'll see what happens career-wise. I'm just excited for whatever the future holds. And in the meantime, just building bricks and having fun on the side. And I like it. I like it a lot. And you know, I've had a couple people reach out like, hey, like, did you apply for land? Like, did you get into land? And I haven't applied yet.
That's something you want to do?
And that's the thing. Like a part of me says yes. A part of me says I'm not sure. And for sure, I'm waiting until I'm done my graduate degree because I don't have time to like.
How long do you have until that?
Next year. Depending on when this comes out next August, 2025. And so I don't have a huge following. I would say I have a big community of the people that follow me. Generally, you know, they trust me. They like my content for the most part. I don't have a huge following, and I know that that's one part of it, not all of it. And you know what that's like. You had that conversation. I'm trying to still figure out exactly what the makeup of who my exact audience is that my content goes to.
That's what you have to define. Size of channel does not matter according to LAN. And you know, sometimes you question who they put in, sometimes you don't, and like another times you're like, why wouldn't you? If you can't define your audience that doesn't already exist, then don't apply for LAN. If you can define your audience and kind of make it more special than what's already out there, then you have a shot for LAN.
Well, and I looked at the application, I don't know the questions, and the trickiest thing is I think I know the answers to these questions, but I'm still trying to formulate in words what that's like. And that's all you can really give. As far as I know, it's just words. And you hope that those words plus them looking at your pages is enough to then, you know, get you to the front of the line kind of thing. If I apply and it works out, I think that'd be fun.
If I got in, I don't know. A lot of people can get in if they know I got in.
Right. So I think that here's the thing. And I think you've said this before, you and I are the same in this. It's not about free sets. Like obviously that would be great. You know, never bought anything on release day. And in the last 4 years, I have bought maybe Lego doesn't want to hear this. I've bought maybe 3 or 4 sets at full price from Lego.
Oh, I mean, I
buy everything either on clearance or sale, used, and that's just because that's the best way to do it for my family. So obviously getting free stuff would be cool, but more than anything, I dream of going to Fan Media Days.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be so fun.
That'd be cool.
And hopefully you get to do that in the coming years. That would be so fun.
I gotta save for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Because it's
you gotta pay for yourself.
Yeah. I think the idea of just being able to like, I've, interviews with Lego ideas designers or like all like exclusive access to people.
That's what I want.
That's cool. And the recent program that they've been doing with some creators where they like let them do a budget on the Pick a Brick website and order whatever you want.
That's what I want.
That's
See, those
cool.
two things, that's what I want. Luckily, I'm already in program, so I kind of get it done. But the thing is getting myself there to get it, make sure it happens. That's kind of the hard thing.
But I got a chance. The Lego and Discovery Center in Columbus had a step designer. I made a video a few months back his job is to take the set design by a designer and create the instructions. And I nerded out with him for so long. And I was like, man, I wish we could have done a podcast right now. And he was just there like, he's funny. He's like there doing a meet and greet and there's like kids. And so like a kid would come up and I would kind of like tug off to the side and like just kind of like let him have that interaction. And then they would go away and I would come back to him and ask him more questions. I nerded out for so long. And I'm like, I could do this with a Lego employee every day and still enjoy these conversations.
Yes.
Because I love the lore. I love Lego. I love learning the inside outs of the business, not everything that they can share, but he shared what he could share. And that was a really great conversation. And that was like, to me, a little taste of some of the experiences that LAN gets. And I think that to me is a cool thing. And then the Lego itself would be really fun. But I loved your first video with the sail barge. And I think that was really fun. I don't know how unique of approach that I would like to take. I would like to try and, if I was involved, I'd like to take a cool, unique approach. Not that the other creators are doing a good job. People in LAN get way too much flack and they're like mad that they're doing a reveal video of a box. They're mad about this. I love, and I've grown to love, especially the ones that I know really well, but like, it's fun. And even if you don't add a spin to it, it's fun that they're sharing the thing that they love. And if, they're like tapped out and they just need to do a basic video because they got to kind of check the box, that's fine. And I'm all for it. And if they want to get more creative with it, that's cool too. But I think that's the thing for me right now. I don't have the time to do any of it. Like if, I don't know what the timelines are like or what the exact deliverable asks are, but
I have 30 days.
Okay. That's from when, release or something? Or
no, from when you do something to say something.
Okay.
At least that's how I interpret it. I could be wrong.
Sure.
But
and it's reasonable, but it's still like right now I'm like, even the couple, very few brand deals that I've had, when there's a deadline, it gets really tricky because normally my content, it's all just like, I'll just readjust the deadline because I'm busy. If there's a specific deadline, that's where I'm like, oh man, I'm staying up late to film this video because I got to get it out by a specific time. We had this conversation the other day. And so that's why right now I'm not, as of now, I haven't done anything to do with LAN, but I might apply and see what happens. And
I hope you do.
I might apply 2 times and see what happens. And I think it would be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And we'll see what happens in that regards.
I mean, I hope people do apply it. Like again, LAN has been like beat to the mud for years.
Yeah.
And, there are some valid points to why.
Sure.
And there are, I understand, because I'm on the audience end too. Like I wake up today and all my feed is X-Men.
Yeah.
Right. It can get annoying. And I enjoy the different ways of sharing it now more than ever. Because before it used to just be the post of it, right? Just a picture. And then because once LAN throws it out there, now it's all up for grabs. Everyone just starts posting. And then you just like, I want to see something else other than this X-Men mansion right now. But more people are now just throwing the video of the release. They're saying stuff. So it's definitely changing up a little bit. So now you're getting more of a perspective and more different, viewpoints as far as how they make content to share this information is definitely, I'm seeing it more. Is it annoying? Not to me yet.
Yeah.
As far as the way they're doing it now. If it was the same thing as before, like a year or two ago, where it was just photos, I'm like, okay, I need to start unfollowing people because this is all I'm getting. But making content different, I think that's like, I've been pushing that to LAN members on Cali Bricklick, in person. I'm like, you don't have to do a review. Like you totally do something different. And I promised myself that if I ever get a review offer that I actually didn't deny, because if you don't deny it, they just send it to you, which was what happened this past 2 times. You don't have to review it. Just do something different. And I promised myself I'm never doing a review. Yeah. And I told them that in the beginning on my application. I didn't say I'll never, but I said I just don't like doing them. Yeah. And they've respected that from me. Like they haven't been sending me stuff or requesting that I do anything. They'll send me stuff every now and then. Sure. But in comparison to my peers within the people that I came in with, they're getting a lot of stuff. Yeah. I haven't been getting squat, which is great because I don't have the time. Yeah. Let alone I don't want to review. And what I'm doing so far requires a lot of time. Yeah. I can't just sit in a room, build and show it. So I don't know. But again, going back to what we were saying before, in the very beginning of this, like this isn't my job.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing this for fun. You mentioned you should, if you're doing social media, it's who your audience is.
Yeah.
And for me, I keep that in mind, but I want to share what I want to share because I can.
Yeah.
If it ever changes to the point where I'm making a ton of money off this and this becomes my career, that mentality will change.
Yep.
Like I'm going to cater to my audience, who's watching to me, what they want to see. Because then again, it comes to, getting money from not only ad revenue, but sponsorships and stuff like that. And then my mentality of this whole concept of this is being my hobby is not going to be that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to have fun while working. But I wanted to round it out, but we have to take you to the airport.
Yeah, we got to get there. I got to fly home, go see my kids.
So is there anything you want to say, plug, do before we peace out?
Yeah, feel free to follow me. It's Wiley Bricks on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I got some fun things coming up in the near future I'm really excited about to round out the year. And yeah, it was so much fun coming here and seeing your pad. And I look forward to seeing people at Brick World Chicago next year. Tell you what, if you guys
this year,
I guess, when this is releasing, the next Brick World Chicago. If you haven't gone, go. Like it's an investment, but it's an investment in yourself and I'm going to say like for joy and happiness. Like, if you want to be a budding content creator and you think it's a good place to get your brand out there, sure, but go out there. It is fun. It is a great community event. It is so cool. It's a great time. You can go and you don't have to spend a ton of money. Obviously getting there and staying there is tricky, but like I didn't buy a ton of Lego at the garage sale. I got some good deals on a few things, but I didn't, walk away spending $500 or anything like that. You can go and just have a good time hanging out with people. And one of my first experiences, like being recognized, like was just like the week before Chicago. I was at a Bricks and Minifigs and someone was like, "Oh my gosh, like I follow you, like you're Wiley Bricks." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." Like, this is kind of random. And then like going there and then being recognized by a lot of people, not because of like my notoriety or something like that, but because we're all friends, like, and we're all friends online. But even just like talking to parents and like, I think showing off a creation is a great experience. Mm-hmm. If you can make something, even if it's small, to bring in and show off, that is a wonderful experience. It was so much fun, like seeing parents' eyes light up because, again, I made a build that they've read this book to their kids 1,000 times. That was a really cool experience. And so I'm looking forward to doing that again. And I'm hoping that my builds can come together for this next convention. But go. It is so worth it. And I should be there. If you see me, come see me, hang out, get a picture. Like, we'll go get food. And I'm really excited for Chicago. It'll be fun.
All right, man. Well, in that case, let's get out of here.
Let's do it.
Peace. All right, man. How was that? Dude, I wanted to keep going, but I'm like, no.